Hi, welcome. Simon here, and I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll walk you through step by step on how to do a motherboard replacement. Here I have a desktop that experienced a bad motherboard. What happened to it, according to my customer, there was a surge at home. That means the power went off, and soon after the power went off, the computer died and never turned back on. We tried to test the power supply, and the voltage I got from the power supply is okay, is stable. However, the motherboard has no power whatsoever when I press the power button. So more likely the motherboard needs to be replaced, and I like to replace with this Asus Prime H510M-A. That is the motherboard I try to replace with, and this is the S-ROG. I would stay away from S-ROG or go with the Asus. Okay, so that is the motherboard, brand new, and that's the old one. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing I like to do is to go ahead and unbox the motherboard. This is the new one. Let's take it out from the plastic bag. And there's pretty much nothing inside. It's just a manual book, the shield, the I/O shield, and the DVD driver for the new motherboard. All right, so we're going to save them on the side. So what I'm going to do is to transfer whatever I can salvage, meaning that the graphics card is transferable. The CPU heatsink I'll probably change with a different CPU heatsink, since this is the stock and quite dirty, so I'll change out the new one. Okay, and then the CPU underneath the heatsink I'll transfer to the new motherboard. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I need to have would be the flathead screwdriver. So I'll be using this flathead screwdriver here. Untwist. What I like to do is to preset the new motherboard with the CPU and the RAM so that I can easily install them afterwards. Okay, so there's the old CPU. Let's remove that. So remove the CPU here. Oops, before I remove it, let me go ahead and open up the box here. So when you install the CPU, see there's a dust underneath there. If I scrape it off a little bit, you see that little dimple right there, a little hole? That is to match that slot right there on your CPU, okay? There you go. Close it down, tighten it. Remove the RAM. Be installing in the B section. That is a DDR4 RAM. The next step is to apply some new thermal paste. This is the MX4 thermal compound. You should apply some on top the CPU. Maybe you want to clean that thing off. But I know this is a fresh apply that we did. We tried to test it out, so the thermal paste is still fresh. I just need to add a little bit more because the heatsink that I removed earlier had some of the thermal paste transfer over, so remove that. However, I ran out of thermal paste, so I have something left in a plastic container right here, so I'll be using some of this because I have run out that thermal paste. So apologize, you know, I just gotta work what I have at the moment and finish up this job here. All right, so we have sprayed enough of the thermal paste right there, and this is the other CPU that I'm talking about. I know it is not brand new, but that's what the client wants me to install. It was provided for me, so I'll be transferring over and install that in just a second, because what you need to have is to have the bracket on that metal bracket underneath the motherboard for the transfer. Okay, so let's remove the graphics card. Make sure you always press that little clipper that is holding down to your PCIe graphics card. Okay, press that, and to remove it, disconnect all these cables, CPU fan, audio, SATA cable, USB 3, and the power. Okay, and the CPU, the 8-pin connector, 4 and 4. All right, once you have removed that, let's go ahead and remove all the screws. These are the motherboard screws. Alright, once you have done removing all of them, did I miss any screws here? Do I need to remove this? I don't think so, but it seems to be quite... Okay. So I just removed that. We're going to transfer this bracket over to the new motherboard so that the CPU heatsink can go on top of it. And just to remove it, remove the shield. Let's install the new shield, the I/O board shield or the back cover shield. What you want to do is to make sure that the audio always face downwards. So these are the audio ports. It's always go to the very bottom side of it. Okay, once you have done with that process, have the back shield or the CPU cover reinstalled back in there. Okay, now we can go ahead and align. Make sure all the cables are sitting above the motherboard. It looks like the shield does not go, it's not supposed to go all the way in. I find that's a bit weird. So what exactly is going on with this casing? It looks like it's supposed to stay like this. Huh. It's weird. So this casing is very weird because the I/O shield is not supposed to be pushed all the way in. I just stumble with this. It's weird. Okay, it's very weird. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it around and you can see it later on when it's done. Okay, let's put some of the screws back in to fasten the motherboard here. Let's install that CPU connector, 4 and 4. Let's do one at a time. This one there. Okay, that is the 24-pin power supply. Let's reinstall them back together. Okay, the USB 3. SATA cable. These are the switches and power. So power LED light. I believe the power LED light is here. Positive, negative, positive and negative. Okay, this is power switch. Power switch is right here. What you want to do is make sure the writing is facing the motherboard. That's what you need to have. The writing would have to face the motherboard. Okay, and then HD light goes over there, and the reset light goes over here. So all the writing would have to face towards the motherboard. This is the fan, exhaust fan. I can link it down to here. That is the speaker. Okay. And I'll go underneath it. Graphics card, snap it in. Alright, so the CPU will have to go back in. Like I said, you need to have the bracket, which is on the other side of it. So what we need to do is kind of hold it on the other side, on the end, right? Reposition. Where did it go? Oops. You know what? Ay, we have to redo it again because when I tighten up the screw, the motherboard is sitting on top of the bracket. No wonder I wasn't getting a good position when I sit it in. So I apologize about this video. It's not a clean video that I made. Again, I do not really edit the video. I just go from start to the end live. Not live, but as you can see, I just so that is the bracket I was talking about. It actually went underneath on the other side of the motherboard. So I'm just gonna remove that. Thank God I just have to remove 4 screws, so I don't have to remove all of them. So what I'm trying to do now is to position the motherboard bracket that goes on the other side here. So position them, and at the same time get ready the CPU fan. So it kind of go on top of each other like so. Okay, and then just put some screw mounted in. You know what, just remove this for a second. Let me put the original one back in. It's easier to test the motherboard, and I'll change it in a second after this. I'm still in the process of testing the motherboard, so this is not final, And I just wanted to show it to you to install the Asus motherboard here. I gotta apologize about this video. It wasn't a clean start. There's a lot of hiccup during the process, and yeah, forgive me of that. And I dropped the screw drill bits, the flathead. All right, I apologize of all that inconvenience in this video. I don't mean to make such a sloppy job here. What I wanted to share with you is that the casing is funny. The I/O board, as you can see, it is so far behind, and there's a gap. It's so far behind the shield, you can't push the shield all the way to the top. If you do that, then yeah, so there is a gap in between. It's very funny. All right, so there you have it. Just transfer everything over, and just have to put the graphics card back in, and that should do it. All right, I hope this video is helpful. Sorry, this is very inconvenient video, but yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye now.